Welcome to the producer show with Kalen Ellis. Did you know he goes live at 5? He goes live at 5 everywhere. It features a Discord he has too. You know, where he samples and collaborates live in real time using sounds from his community. They are literally the best in the world. So if you want to join in, cop a sample pack, you know. Don't force the funk. Heavy to force the funk. Heavy to funk. Here we go for the funk. No, don't force the funk.
Oh, you gotta go, you gotta go. What's good, everybody? Let's do it. What's good, everybody? Oh, man. We are so back. Let me go ahead and do a little tweak with this camera. I'm turning my cameras back on as we go. This one over here looking a little funny right now. Hold on. We're going to get it right. Hold on. Let's see here. I'm gonna make sure this mug turns on real quick as we get going. Hair's looking good. Appreciate you. I just got a haircut today. I appreciate you. Literally just got a haircut today. Let me see if I get rid of that blurriness for this camera. So I'm about to turn it on real quick. Camera. Oh, now that's clean. That's looking clean. All right, perfect. Now I can just simply do this. Turn it back on. And yeah, let me go and give y'all some frequencies. How are y'all feeling? How are y'all doing? Give y'all some frequencies right here. Yeah, there we go. And then this camera about to turn back on in a few seconds. Yep, there we go. Now I just got to get it to track me. Boom. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. Low key, I was thinking about wearing a hat today because I wasn't like sure if I was gonna get my hair cut, but I got a little light cleanup, so I appreciate my barber. Well, not even my barber wasn't even here today, but his homie was there. Gave me a little cleanup. Let's see here. I meant. Let's see here. But yes, shout out to Crash, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Ciano. Shout out to Cento. Shout out to Mikey. Shout out to everybody. Tommy, bro, how are y'all doing? I'm so excited. It is December the 30th, 2024. And, dude, there's a lot of really beautiful things going on. So, plus, I just woke up from a nap too. So, bathroom break, a nap. I'm feeling great right now. Plus, I got a yerba mate. Bro, finna be a great night. Christmas. What did y'all do for Christmas Eve? I'll tell you, I got a chance to be out of town for a bit, get some R&R. In there like swimwear. Hey, I love saying that. That's like one of my favorite sayings. But yes, if you have never tuned in before, my name is Kalen Ellis, and I'm live at 5 p.m. Eastern. Here, I go live every single week whenever I'm not traveling, whenever I don't have shows, whenever I don't have anything currently happening in my circumference. There's always something happening online. If you want to tap in with your boy, we collaborate, we cook up, we make stuff with the ones and the onlys, aka the Makers Club. And if you want to know who the lovely, beautiful people of the Makers Club are, you will currently see these names pop up in the chat. Ciano's part of the Makers Club. Shout out to Ciano. Shout out to Crash X Fleet. Shout out to Cento. Shout out to everybody that has joined the Makers Club by copping the sample pack. You guys are what makes this thing happen. So I'm very, very thankful for you guys. I am more than thankful. And I will also say, man, I just dropped a new sound pack, the Volume X Pocket Pack, the Volume 10. Okay, I haven't done Volume 10 until literally like a few weeks ago. And it features a whole lot of brand new stuff. I could be really cool with the specifics, but nonetheless, this new sound pack I just dropped literally 2 or 3 weeks ago is the highest point of sound design that I can offer right now for creating drums. And if you don't have any ideas presently at this moment and you need something that generates ideas for you, look no further than the Volume X Pocket Pack, because it's literally intended for the purpose of creating drums. And a lot of great tracks always have great drums attached. So if you want a good start, cop the Volume X Pocket Pack. You'll be able to receive a link to the Makers Club, the Discord, to your email immediately after you get it. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody that tunes in every single week. We've been going live here on the stream since 2021 December. Yep, we've been going live for a hot second. Man, I kind of want to take a little trip through memory lane just to let you guys know about like how long this has been going down, because not everybody knows that I go live on Twitch. Nobody knows I go live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I used to go live on Facebook, but it was acting kind of funny. But I'm currently looking at everybody's chats right now. HHB Music says, yo, bro, love from India. Love you, India. Love you, man. Man. For a hot sec. Been doing it for a hot little minute. We're about to be in 2025. Can you believe it? That's crazy. We're already at like the halfway decade point of the 2020s. Can't you believe it? But Safan says Volume X is crazy, bro. I've been using it nonstop these past couple days. Thank you for creating that. I appreciate you. I've been working on that mug for a little over a year and a half. I want to say maybe 2 years. I remember after I did the sauce pack, because the sauce pack is when, and I don't know if anybody copped the Volume 9 sauce pack, the 9.5 New Grooves, but when I started building off of this kit, mind you, this is the kit. You got this kit right here. This drum kit is the kit that I utilize for the Build-A-Pocket Volume X. So that, this mug, I've spent hours sitting here just wanting to get things that I know are gonna be not only just helpful for me, but I know helpful for you guys. And something I want to be able to talk about more so as the stream goes on is the thought, right? And it's the thought that counts. It's the consideration that counts. I'm also going to try and apply more air to my voice. That's what I like. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. A little more crispiness, a little more air. Presence and drive. But yeah, man, it's been great, you know, being able to make these sound packs. And I'll definitely say this from a very transparent place. Every time y'all cop something, it funds this happening. And one of the things that I told myself is that, like, I remember back in 2020, I had a realization within, you know, my sample packs, and I had a realization within not only just the beat videos that I was making at the time, but I realized I have a responsibility for not only just creating the things that I desire, but I am aware that when we make these tools and when we sit here and have these conversations, it allows me to see, like, how can I help pour into the community that has so much helped me? Like, if it weren't for our community, the niche market of space of making beats and cooking up and being here on this stream, I genuinely don't know where I would be within my life. And so I remember thinking like, man, I've spent hours, literally hours. I've spent hours talking to people, hanging out with folks, live on the stream. You can go back to 2010 and see comments between me, K Trinata, Lakim, Tech Lun, like all the OG Selection homies, Joe K. We were all on the early age internet 2010s, just, you know, posting beats, posting our stuff on SoundCloud, posting our stuff on YouTube. And by, you know, the last like 10 plus years, it's been beautiful to witness how many gifted individuals this space has like birthed, you know? And I really believe what we do here, especially on this stream, what I firmly believe, I want to be able to utilize this space to be able to create what that next breed of creativity looks like. And hilariously enough, I didn't even really understand what I'm doing here did until I got a chance to like talk to a few buddies of mine from church. And a homie of mine was like, bro, he was like, dog, you gotta understand, all of my homies I know go live on Twitch and make beats. And I'm like, what? Like, bro, that is the entirety of what I've always felt this community could be. I've always felt like this community and what we do deserves a voice, right? And so I think moving on into next year, I want to be able to find more ways to establish that voice, because there's so many talented individuals. There's a lot of spaces. And actually, this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up months back, but I don't even think I hit on the point. But I had a chance to hang out in LA. I got a chance to be in LA, and I walked the Hollywood Walk for like a solid week and a half. And I realized that the entire Hollywood Walk is full of spaces that are from people who make beats, people who produce, people who made TV shows, people who created things that changed the world on the entertainment level. And I never, ever realized that is the only place like worldwide where people will come to one spot and just be like, yo, I just saw BB and CeCe Winans on the Hollywood Walk. Like, you can end up there too. Not because of like, you know, wanting to be acknowledged for your work, but what we do here is birthing that next person that will take the baton for whoever holds it at this moment and change the game into what we have. So I just want to say I thank you guys so much for tapping in every single week for the last 4 years. Absurd. And so with that being said, let me go ahead and give y'all a little brief kind of like, you know, curiosity, if you're curious or not. I'm gonna switch over here to YouTube, because actually I had a whole thing where I was curious, like, how long have I been uploading like videos? And this is actually something I want to be more transparent about my analytics on YouTube, because I had a whole realization with this. And I didn't realize this with the whole Timbaland thing, but yo, peep this, just peep this. Y'all are gonna laugh at this. So maybe a week prior, a couple weeks ago before Christmas started, I reacted to Timbaland's Rhythm Roulette. And I never realized how many people within our community really watch the videos and just listen to us talk. But I uploaded this video, and Timbaland's Rhythm Roulette, this mug got 23,000 views in a matter of 2 weeks. Probably because it was Timbaland. It made like $112. That's cool. 411 subscribers. And I'm thinking like, yo, let me go and check like all the analytics. And we made about 100,000 views. About 100,000 views, 8,000 hours of watch time hours. And there was unique 42,000 people that watch these videos. So I'm realizing more and more as I do this YouTube and Twitch stream that y'all are like real people. And I'm probably gonna see y'all at shows, probably gonna see y'all at like conventions. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see y'all in person. So it just makes it more real that I'm like, oh wow, like it's not just a number. And I think that's the one thing I hate about stats, is that people always look at stats as numbers. No, these are real people. And I'm aware that folks really enjoy it when I talk. And I never knew that my voice was something worth listening to until really this year. So I appreciate you guys so much. So with that, I started being more aware of words, being more aware of things that I do. Yeah, man, it's very unique, bro. I'm very thankful. Very, very thankful for you guys. Tommy says, how do you stream video and audio to your second computer? Okay, do you want me to give you the ultimate code? Because I will give it to you, all right? And I'm gonna tell you exactly how. So, to everybody, if everybody wants to know how I'm able to stream off of two computers, I'm gonna explain it for you. And let me see if I can actually like stream back the laptop screen that I'm streaming off of to my main computer, so y'all can see both screens. Don't think I've ever done this before, so let's see here. My MacBook here. Let me share my screen, see if it works. If it does, I'm gonna geek out. Let's do continue. Oh, that's great. All right. I'm gonna show you something crazy. All right, so first and foremost, let me actually give myself 15 minutes because I know I'm gonna talk a little bit. All right, so this is so trippy. I'm looking at my laptop screen that I'm streaming off of, but I'm streaming back to my desktop. So this is what my laptop screen looks like right here. I'm gonna switch over so y'all can see what I'm looking at here. But yeah, this is it, y'all. So it's a multi-stream kind of setup. So let me go and turn this off. There we go. All right, so this is how it's set up. I currently have 2 cameras. Both cameras are OBS bot cameras. What I love about these cameras is the fact that they track, they are movable. They literally, like if I go like this, the camera casually just tracks me. So it's called an OBS bot Tiny 2, okay? I have that running to my laptop connected. Watch this. It's connected to a powered USB dock called a CalDigit TS4. You can utilize any kind of USB dock, but the reasons why I utilize the CalDigit is because to run 2 computers and connect the sound off of another computer back to the laptop I'm streaming off of requires power. And if it's not pulling power off of that wall, it's gonna pull power from the computer. So that's why I use the CalDigit. So you got 2 OBS bot Tiny 2 cameras. You got the laptop. I'm running Streamlabs, by the way, and I'll show you guys the screen. This is where the chat is. OBS bot also has like a little camera side center that you can look at. And if you look over here, oh man, I can control this computer using that computer. That's crazy. But I'm running Streamlabs. Now, here's the part that makes a lot of people be like, how in the world are you streaming the audio? Okay. The beautiful part about all of this is that I'm only running a plug-in cable, right? A USB-C plug-in cable from that computer into this thing that I would like to call the, what's it called? There's this, I'm blanking on it. There's a, hold on. I'm gonna find the name of it real quick. Not CalDigit, but it's a video card. I'm blanking on the name of it. Video card for streaming. Let me see here. All right, so this is it. This is it right here. So I got a 4K capture card. I originally was using this small little HDMI to come off of the computer and bring it here. It captures audio too. Not just video, but it captures audio. They sell them at Best Buy, they sell them on Amazon, but what you would need is just a capture card that can capture video and audio. And you just route that back to the laptop. So it's a fairly simple setup. I don't have a lot of cables running. I just have 2 cameras, the computer that I have all my music stuff happening. Like even this audio is going straight to Ableton. Any audio y'all hear at this moment is just coming straight out of Ableton. Now here's the crazy part, right? I had to do some curiosity to see how I could set this up. And the this is what it's called right here. I don't even know why I'm tripping. HD 60X. This is the capture card I'm using right now. This right here. This is the dopest thing I've ever used. Okay? It's great because all you need is an HDMI in, an HDMI out. A HDMI in that sends it to the computer. How do you route the main out? That's all through the video capture card. So all the video, like all the audio you guys hear right now is coming from the capture card. This is capturing the audio too. And here's the cool part about MacBook computers. You are allowed to make aggregate devices or like a multi-output device. So no matter how many interfaces you got, no matter headphones, no matter speakers that you have plugged in directly to the computer, this is all one device that I basically outputted. So I got my universal audio where all my audio is playing out of, my Scarlett, and the HD 60X. And I just select it as an out. And what you guys hear is the stream. So when I'm streaming here on Ableton, settings, stream, that's going straight here. It's just an output device. So I'm taking the video capture card, but doesn't this interfere with your latency in Ableton? Not really. I'm on 128 samples. My input latency is 1.26 milliseconds, and my output is like 11, but it's barely noticeable. Maybe a hair if I go and record drums. Like you'll hear it a little bit when I play drums, but it's not that crazy. That's why I make my KFX and other plugins, because there's no latency. The reason why I even make my plugins or my like sound effect racks in Ableton is simply because there's no latency or anything. So I can go and mix. I can put reverb on my voice, no latency. It's all within Ableton. Put your streaming setup on Gumroad. Ooh. You know what, Raymond? Thank you. I don't know why I've never thought about that. That's incredible. Jesus, shout out to Raymond. So yeah, the reason why I use my KFX rack and everything else within Ableton is because when Ableton made their audio effects, it has barely little to no latency. Like literally, there's no CPU usage. Like I'm gonna show you, look at this. I'm gonna show y'all the CPU. I'm barely scraping 10%. 10% right now. And it works like butter. Y'all see me streaming, that's how I'm able to do it every single week. And periodically, as time goes on, I find more clever ways to make the stream a little bit more high def. And one of the great parts that I'm learning right now is how can I go all the way with it. So I don't know if y'all noticed, like the pianos, the electric key, KFX, drum sculptor. There's this new one I'm working on right now called KES1, which is like my ultimate synth library of sounds. And so it's just unique, bro. It's really unique being able to play around with all of these different pieces and tools. So I hope all of that just made perfect sense. If it doesn't, I'll probably make a more in detail video about it. Yeah. So let me go and play a different joint and see if we could talk a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm glad you're not using too much CPU. I get that problem with Ableton. I want to stream once I get a new MacBook. Honestly, where the game is at is having, or either you have a really powerful MacBook or you got two semi-powerful MacBooks. I got the Mac Mini. I'm running the Mac Mini. I like the Mac Mini because there's no screens, bro. Like, yeah. Yeah, order a capture card. Yeah, get the, hold on. I'll show you exactly which one to get. Elgato HD60X, specifically this one. This is the one that I use, because here's the cool part about it. You can take the video HDMI out of your computer, plug it into this thing, get another cable, plug it into your screen, and route that from the USB-C cable that they give you back to the streaming laptop. And it's so worth it. You can really be able to record. You're really supposed to be able to record video games with it, but they allowed it for you to be able to do other things. So get this one. This is the one that's dope. Javar, let me see here. Do all of your custom racks require Ableton Suite? Not entirely. At max, I would probably say standard, aside from Drum Sculptor and Essential Bass. Those things require operator, and that requires at least the operator rack in your Ableton. If you don't have operator, you gotta have Suite. But everything else is like standard, pretty simple. Even my KFX is pretty available for like all versions of Ableton. So not all of them require Ableton Live Suite. Just the basis level of things that you can like access like a basic sampler in it. So standard at max. All right, so I see another question. Javarn says, yo, Kalen, I was wondering what your approach is to recording both electric keys and piano on a beat. Like, do you have certain voicings you play on electric key versus piano? When you're making a beat, what makes you think, yeah, this needs piano first versus electric keys first, etc.? What is your thought process? So I can explain my thought process for that a little bit. My approach to recording both electric keys and piano on a beat. So it depends. It depends on what I want to do. So let's say, for instance, if I were to sit at this piano here and play a chord, it could be any chord or whatever. Usually the piano or the Rhodes, they both have a weight to them that I love whenever I play chords. It makes harmonies really cool, but really my thought process is this. I find one instrument and I build around it. Sometimes I'll play my main chords on an electric key, and then I'll find cool voicings on a piano. So I try to, at max, play really basic triads, utilizing one or the other. So if I if I play all my chords on the electric key, then I'll play like basic triads on the acoustic piano. Or if I play basic chords on the memo piano, then I'll go to the electric key and play it like triads. I think of it like a guitarist. Like, you know how when a guitarist is hearing someone play, you hear like certain notes kind of embellished in between the chords? Maybe notes that would like make the chord full. But the whole point that I like to go about is breaking chords up. So if I have a really big chord with a lot of notes in it, I usually try to strip it back. Like, simply treat the electric key like it's a supporting instrument and not the main thing. That's how I'm able to create those really interesting layers. If you want a good example of this, I have Cool V2 featuring Merges, where I like built the whole beat. I like literally built the whole beat around the roads that I made. But then the rest of the song is just me doing harmonics on the piano. And something about it just works. I think the first time I ever heard that was Robert Glasper, which is crazy. I'm intending on talking about him today. Yes. Layering chords works so well, built like a band. Yeah. So treat your instruments, depending on what you build around, like something that's an extension. Okay? Something that's a supportive element. It really depends on what you want, really. That's how I like to approach it. Robert Glasper and Son are in the newest Rhythm Roulette episode. Yes. Yes. And that's what I want to talk about today. So, everybody knows that I watched the Timbaland one. Y'all watched the Timbaland one, but I have not seen the Robert Glasper and Son video. I wish I knew his name properly so I can properly say his name. So I'll probably do a little post edit. But I'm gonna check it out. I'm actually really excited because I did know his son made beats, but I hadn't like listened to what he's created. So this is gonna be great. I'm very excited to see what Robert Glasper does. So let me go ahead and look it up real quick. And you know, I'm sure this is gonna be a better watch than y'all did last time with Timbaland. And by the way, folks, still on that video going crazy. Like everybody's like, yo. But yeah, Robert Glasper and Son Rhythm Roulette. But I've been listening to Robert Glasper for years, so I'm excited for this. Super excited for this. So let's get it. I'm curious to see here. Robert Glasper and Riley Glasper. That's his name. Shout out to Riley Glasper for the one time. Let's get it.
What's up, y'all? This is Robert Glasper, and this is my son,
Riley G.
Hey, look,
and we are here at A1 Records.
You watching Rhythm Roulette.
Boom. Riley?
Yeah.
Marco?
Polo. Where you at?
All right, now? Yep. All right.
Oh, he got the Bob James.
Oh, shoot. I would get another pianist.
And by the way, shout out to James Atkins. He's on tour with Bob James right now. If y'all haven't seen Bob James right now, the homie James Atkins is playing drums with him right now. Y'all go and get your tickets to see Bob James because that is one special thing to check out. Back to it.
Got U2. Got some rock, so I'm like
Killing.
excited. And then I got this of the new art songs.
So I would pick the most sampled, one of the most sampled pianists of all time. This record is so important to hip hop.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about Bob James last night because I performed on the Grammys with him on the pre-Grammy show with Bob James, and we were just having a discussion about Bob literally last night. And This is what I ended up picking. That's so crazy. I have a feeling there's something on here we can use. Maybe.
I think literally the most sampled vinyl record probably ever. It probably is the most like Bob James probably on tier with James Brown as the most sampled like musician ever. I don't know. What do y'all think?
You never know with Bob James.
You never know. We'll see.
50-50. We'll see in the cutting room.
Absolutely. Let's do it. So what's up? I'm Robert Glasper. It's my son.
Riley G.
And we are here at the cutting room. And
lineup is clean.
now we're going to go through some of these records that we found at A1
Yeah.
record store and see what we got here. See what we can cook up.
Yeah.
See what it do. So this one is a U2, the Unforgettable Fire that we're doing now.
U2 is great too. They got a lot of deep cut. It's a great record. He's like that. He's like, that is not in key, but we gonna make it work.
Something in there, yeah, something in there. Second joint on the first side? Pride.
Yeah, we could low key.
What's gonna get you killed?
Just go
We
ahead.
could use this.
Chop, huh?
We could use this. No, it's a third joint. Here.
Oh, that's
Just
cold.
that.
Just that, that's it.
That's a great part.
Yeah.
Get that locked in. Even if we just testing chops, I like to usually add my drums first.
He on the MPC,
Oh,
the
then
touch
you
joint.
then you know what
And
you're
then,
chopping too.
exactly, and the chops can also fit more in line with the beat, rather than if you do it in the opposite, like the drums be chasing sample. I just don't like that really. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, something in there.
What's that?
But those root notes are nice. You should still
I'm
use.
gonna follow. I wonder if he got
Like if this
IG.
is it. Don't.
So I'm used to two of them. So I could do that, but I feel like
And then like every
Two of
few
them.
other bars, you could reharm the
because
first.
it's going
yeah.
back, it's going back and forth.
Yeah.
Those two right there, those 4 bars. I purposely did a little skip on it. Stop it real quick. I purposely did a little.
Yeah, I heard that.
Wait, Quincy Devon says, "Lil bro look like y'all not related." We are not related, but you know what? I feel like there might be some crossover on that like ancestral tree. Something's got to give, okay?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Actually, like that better, huh?
Yeah. I like it, but not as like a constant. That's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of like the
Just this.
and then like
Maybe
could,
every
like,
4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just to throw it off. Doom,
Okay.
doom, doom, and then doom, doom, doom,
Do
and
that
then
again?
do that.
Okay,
so
okay,
that,
yeah,
so that
yeah.
even it could sound like it could sound odd.
Yeah.
To some people,
Yeah.
like after the 4th bar, you could play that and it sounds like a 5th bar, but it's really the 1st bar, and then you just go back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
do it again.
Yeah.
Let me record it again.
I like the creative dynamic. Oh, he's chopping up his keys. That's tough.
That's the chop. Okay. Yeah. So what we should make the whole beat 8 bars.
But if you're doing this, is this the quarter note? 2, 3, 4. Right. Where's the quarter? 4. Where's your 1?
3.
Where's your 1?
My 1 is 2. It's here.
Piece of chicken or fried chicken, you know what I'm saying?
Not a little chicken break. Not a little chicken break.
Little fry.
I'm good.
You found this?
I'm good.
I'm gonna follow him right
Clear
now.
on the
He's
empty
dope.
stomach.
That's fast.
All right, I'll take a bite of chicken.
A bite of chicken. I wish I could have got a bite of chicken during my episode.
Carry on.
Follow.
Yeah.
You want to follow the chord with that bass too, the A?
Oh, yeah, I
So
should.
that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yep.
Listen. Oh, I got that second sample too. Little.
Oh, let's see if
Little
yeah,
guitar,
yeah,
whatever that
yeah,
was.
yeah.
See
That
what
could be a
that
whole nother
was.
beat too, though.
I know.
Really.
Yeah.
As you're
so much
making
going
a
on in
beat
this
and you
one, I
have a
feel
whole
it
nother
already.
idea.
That's a whole nother. Yeah.
Yeah, there we
But
go.
the other one's so empty, I can put
know.
anything under it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's so bare bones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Just gonna extend this.
Yep.
Then we got a beat.
Yep, that's one. One down, baby.
We got one.
One down.
That's
Absolutely.
tough. I like
This
that
was
first
called
one.
Wire.
Yeah.
Now them sampling Wire is dope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy because you're hearing a triplet.
Go down and pitch a little bit.
Yeah. I can put it in the middle. I can
Yeah.
put it in the middle.
Or that will work too, whichever one. Okay. That works.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Need a different snare.
Can you turn me up here a little bit? Or I can just do it myself?
He's in my favorite key too. F sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just try something else. Let me just try a few things. Woo, maybe that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You like this sound?
Yeah.
The piano? It kind of sticks a little. Okay, let's do it again. That's one thing. Let me see something.
Do I have perfect pitch? I have no idea at this point.
I could be on the mallet.
I just know I'm able to, if I can find the main note, I could probably
The mallet
figure it
bells.
out. I'd love to know if I have perfect pitch. I really don't know my keys like that though. I'm able to identify notes though, like. I have no idea though. I'm not great with keys like that.
I think if you filter it and do something to it, you know what I mean? Oh. Nah, it's too much. Or maybe it is that other sound I had. Maybe it's this one.
Chronos.
Yeah.
Hold on. My cousin is trying to call me right now. I can't talk right now. I'm trying to watch Robert Glasper. I'm trying to watch Robert. Hold on.
Oh, I'll just play to the click, not to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Do not disturb. It's very Dilla-ish, but I love it.
Those last two. I can even stack on top of that a little.
It's funny because I was just talking about throwing layers of chords.
You think you're gonna put a little voice on top, just doing that melody? Just like.
Yeah. Yep. That's all we need.
That's tough.
Let me save this first.
I like that melody. The funny thing is his voicings. The melody is in the chord.
Yeah, lesson learned. Always save.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I already got it. I got so much beats in my MPC. It literally said I can't save it, so I have to just give me 1 minute.
You gotta delete a beat.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we
That's
did
tough.
Absolutely. Rhythm Roulette, Rob G.
it. Riley G. That's how we do it.
Come on now. Easy work.
Light.
Light work.
Oh yeah, literally.
Name of the
Light
game
work.
is
Light work.
Works.
Come
What
on,
do you
man.
call those lanterns?
Come on.
Spotting gleam.
The name
Light
of
the
the
sky.
game is
Light works.
Light works. Yeah. Oh man, that's great. That is dope. That was a really dope one. Shout out to Riley and Robert Glasper. That was dope. I'm glad y'all told me to watch that because I'm like, shucks, this is sick. Yeah, I think they did a great job. I think that was a great track. I ain't got nothing to say. Curran says, Kaylin, I feel like they would love to work with you. Dude, if I could work with them, it could just be me putting a tambourine on something with a triangle. I don't mind it. You know, man. Man, it's nuts. It's super, super nuts. But yeah, what are y'all thinking? Let me know what y'all think about the Robert Glasper and Riley Glasper Rhythm Roulette. I'm gonna be posting this on YouTube, and I appreciate y'all for just vibing out with your boy. Yes. With that being said, I'm gonna answer a few more questions and we'll get into cooking up today because I'm a little inspired right now by that joint. Set a timer for 20. Let's do 20 minutes. Yeah, I've always wanted to work with Robert. That literally, he's like the creative anatomy of how I understand chords. I can't tell you any theory beyond the fact that like I know that key and I'm gonna try and play it. So that's as much as I can tell you. Big Homie 0123 says, any advice for an aspiring artist that consumes how to create content more than just creating? Man. So, any advice for aspiring artists that consumes how to create content more than just creating? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this because I've been in the rabbit hole before. And I'll explain what I mean by that. The rabbit hole of how to create content. Now, I just want to point out there is nothing wrong with how to create content. There's nothing wrong with watching it, right? But here is the thing. Here is the thing. The thing about how to create content is the content is intended for you to watch it, learn the information that is sandwiched in it, but maybe it be entertaining, maybe it be a little bit appeasing, maybe it's just overall stimulating because, you know, sometimes I know for me, I've let videos run as I'm cleaning my house. One of my favorite contents of videos to watch, not necessarily mental health related, but it is a lot to deal with like the mind and how to stay focused on your priorities and still be able to keep things in motion as you're resting, you know what I'm saying? And so I watch a lot of content based on that. And so periodically, I think there's this thing where like maybe at times I will binge watch a lot. And dear Lord, I've watched so much content relating on how businesses start, how music, how to be inspired when you're not inspired. I've watched it all. And coming from the place of someone who is, in the beginning stages of it, which I still feel like I'm constantly learning and trying to get better, I feel like there is a point where the information that you just learned from the videos have to be put into action. And I think that's the one thing that I think has changed drastically about my earlier years. Let's go back to 2015. A lot of the content that I used to consume was a lot of time passing, but I would often grab these golden nuggets of information that allowed me to be like, yo, why don't I learn how to play the piano? Why don't I learn how an instrument works? Why don't I watch a video on how orchestras work? How do guitarists learn? Matter of fact, I just watched a video earlier today on Eddie Van Halen, God rest his soul, on how he plays guitar. And there's actually a video of Eddie Van Halen before he passed away playing the guitar. And so what's funny is actually watching him explain it made me realize there's a thought process on how this instrument works. And so for any person that consumes the content of how to create videos, there has to be a space and an area where you're learning. You're learning to not only just learn, but you're gonna take what you just learned and physically manifest it through your own hands or through your own mind or through your setup, your studio. You watch someone play a paradiddle for 10 minutes, you sit down on a piano, you gotta learn, not a piano, but the drums, and learn how to play the paradiddle. Yeah, definitely watch that Eddie Van Halen video. It is incredible because he's by far one of the greatest guitarists like ever. But it's funny because it's a very simple thing that he learned within his education of music that made him become a very accurate musician in what he does best. Actually, I forgot what it's called, but like he has this method where he was playing the guitar using both of his hands. Like the soloing he does, like the tricks he does, it's with two hands. And I always used to wonder, like, how is his fingers moving? No, it's both of his hands doing this on the guitar neck. And it's fire. But the only way I even came to that conclusion is I realized how to create content is essentially sandwiching the most important information enough where you can be able to understand what it is, and then you have to go and take that little piece amongst all the fluff and incorporate it into your work. So for anybody aspiring to become better at what they do, especially for next year, because 2025 is literally 2025 is literally a day away. Okay? And I know once this video comes out, it'll be well into 2025, 2026, 2027. That information that you learn, especially here, if I'm ever saying something, you can look it up and know that there's information on how to take that information and put it into action. The thing that you are learning is intended for you to take it and put it into action. Yes, it is the video of him at the Smithsonian 2015. That is amazing, right? And I never knew that's how he played. You would just hear the records and I'd be like, dang, that's how he does it? And now that I'm aware of it, it's like, it's something so simple, but the discipline it takes to put the same lesson into practice is where mastery happens. That is where your voice as a creative starts to form. When you take a simple thing that you have just learned and spit it out And here's the beautiful part about it. Here's the most beautiful part about it. I actually used to sit here for hours trying to figure out how, and man, if y'all only knew how many times I sit here in this room just being like, how can I crack that next code for the next music producer? Because I know I'm not the only one just thinking about, just things that go on within the industry and all that. Like, trust me, all the things you all talk about and think about, I sit here simply writing down, how can I solve that? And I think a lot of what I've been able to figure out is more so the community aspect of it is what allows me to figure out information that I did not know before. Like, there's things I'm learning from y'all that I didn't know as a musician before. Even here as I stream, this has all been as I'm watching and understanding there are ways I can communicate better. There's ways I can show the cameras better. I can make better beats. I can explain things better. I can take time, slowing down, speaking, calm down. Like, there's different ways you can take information in, consume it, and then spit it back out. Nothing is intended to be held in forever. At all. So I hope that makes sense, bro. Yeah. Big homie says, I like that answer a lot. Apply what you consume, leave the bones, and keep going. I understand that, but still need to apply it. Yeah, and here's the beautiful part. Application is going to be so necessary. And I say that because I want to be able to reintroduce something to you guys. And the one thing I want to reintroduce, no changes, by the way, is the gauntlet. Okay? And so I'm going to explain real quick what the gauntlet is and how the gauntlet can essentially help you, a creative, for next year, 2025, which is literally a little over a day and some hours left. But yeah, nonetheless, the gauntlet was this thing I came across back in 2017, 2018, where I recognized that the hours I spent on a beat would be at, odd hours, about 5-6 hours on one track, and I would never go on and make something else. And so I realized the only way to be able to get better is by repetition. So think about possibly making ideas, a bunch of different ideas, to essentially go back and pick whichever one you like. So the one way I was able to figure that out was during 2018, 2019, 2020 came and I called it the gauntlet. And what the gauntlet is you have 30 minutes to make one beat, right? 30 minutes to make one beat. You you create as much as you possibly can, whether it be arrangement, whether it be a loop idea, whether it be 30 seconds, no matter how long. Just make something from the information that you currently know. After the 30 minutes finish, you save the track and you start another one after that. And you proceed to do this 2 more times. So ultimately you should end up with 3 beats at the end of this. The reason why I set my timer for 30 minutes is not only to make as many ideas as I possibly can, but the reason why I do this and the reason why the gauntlet exists is simply to increase your proficiency in what you know and learn on how you can get better around your studio space. There's nothing more frustrating than getting into a studio space and not feeling confident in how to maneuver around your own gear. Like, imagine having a keyboard and you're like, I need to load up a piano sound. Why not, for the next 2 beats, make that a preset? Always have the piano there, or always have the drums here, or always have the bass on there. That's why I know whenever I sit here at this computer now, if I really want to make something, all of my instruments, all of my Ableton racks, all of my effects racks, which is why I made the KFX rack and the Ableton Live template, everything is literally at a hand's reach, where you can simply drag and drop your sounds in and make something without thinking about it. And that's the whole point. the whole point of the gauntlet is to take away just thinking deep about something. And trust me, there will come a time where you're gonna need to think about an idea. But for now, the only thing you need to do is get your creative muscles in motion, okay? You don't need to think twice. The one thing that I always see with creatives is that they have great ideas, but they never just make a decision. And the beautiful part about decisions is there's no such thing as a wrong decision. Just make one. And once you make a decision, literally at a moment's notice, you'll be able to just do it. Like if someone told me to sit down here right now and be like, yo, I need you to make me a trap joint at 130 BPM and I need it in like the next hour. Bet. I'm gonna stop the track and be like, all right, I got this. I'm gonna go to my piano. I got some chords. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna go and sample it. And the whole beautiful part about the template is the fact that it has everything here. Literally, Electric Key, Serum, FM8, KES1, a new joint I'm working on. It has everything I need in a hand's reach. I never have to think about it because you shouldn't have to think. You shouldn't have to. So that's why that exists. And yeah, I hope that makes sense. Going into next year, if you're an aspiring artist, an aspiring creative, you need to have a flow that allows you to turn off this for a second and you just do. It's just like playing an instrument. Exactly, Tommy. Exactly. So yeah, and what's great is that same skill of learning how to utilize different plugins and all that type of stuff. I don't even know what I was about to land with that, but essentially the whole point is to get your mind to just be on pattern mode. So when you do have to think, you can simply go back after all the ideas are made and just be like, this is what needs to change. This is what needs to be adjusted. I already have the initial idea of my concept sitting there. All my beat videos are literally that. I make a whole loop for 30 seconds, play it on loop forever, and then as I'm watching the video or listening to whatever, I come up with ideas as I listen to the joints. And so after doing that for 30 minutes, you got 3 other ideas. All those ideas start to flow into one another. And Ciano is a great example of this because it can birth your whole sound doing this. Your whole sound is sitting in your patterns. The things that you do every single time. We just watched Robert Glasper sit there, I don't know how long, with his son, with Riley, and they just cooked up 2 really crazy joints. But imagine how difficult it'd be if Robert Glasper didn't have a piano, nor a microphone, nor MPC. Imagine they would have just showed up to the studio and they didn't have no gear. Do you know how weird that would have been? Imagine going to the studio and not having your things set up so you can make something. Why would you go to a studio with no gear? Why would you open a blank session with nothing in it? Put some of your favorite plugins in the session and cook up. Because literally, if you do that, you're setting a great precedent for you to be able to make what is sitting right here. It's sitting right here. It's sitting in your space. It's there. Have everything you need at hand's reach. So when your number is called, when your name is called, and someone needs a track from you, or that way you don't ever have to be like, I gotta cook up something. No. You got about 3 beats, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And if you do that for a whole month, you'll have roughly 30 ideas. Maybe they might be good, maybe they might not be good, but you made 30 ideas, and that is productive to be able to listen back and make a choice. And the beautiful part about those 30 ideas is no bad ones. It's just the ones that you want to drop. Yeah. Terry! What's good, Cam? How you doing? So yeah, let me see here. Let me go back up. I feel like I just missed another question y'all asked. So yeah, man, it's very unique, but I know definitely this year, and plus, I'll say one more thing too. I'll say a few more things, just a couple more things. Peachy Keen, how are you? I'm beautiful. I cannot complain. But yo, Joe Tita, what's good, Joe Tita? But I want to also kind of like break down some things because I don't think I've ever really talked about this before. But there is this video that I posted. I want to say it had to be like 3 or 4 years ago. And it was pertaining to Build a Pocket. And for those of you guys who have no idea what Build a Pocket is, it's just a little, I won't say a little, it's a massive folder, okay, of just individual loops that allow you to create drum loops. Now, a question that I received earlier this week or like last week was, why is it called the Pocket? I'm glad you asked. In a very simple way to explain it, when a drummer is playing a consistent groove that allows other musicians to layer their ideas on something that is not only just repetitive, but it's a little bit in a looping range. So it sounds like the drum is a very consistent force that has motion. It allows all the other pieces to the music that is playing to kind of fall in line. If the drum pocket is not existing, if the drum pocket does not have something consistent that is moving, that is creating this ever so looping force that moves without a track, like I'm sure you guys have heard beats where I've made like loops that kind of fall into itself, like the loop just loops forever, it's because I have a very strong presence of a pocket. Without the pocket, there is no funk, there is no jazz, there is no blues. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Without pocket, you don't have anything to build on musically. Yes. Luns813 says, hey, Kaylin, I've just started producing. Currently on GarageBand, and curious if you suggest upgrading to Logic or a different DAW. Is there one that producers generally use over the others? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. So this is coming from someone that used to use Logic and used to use, well, I still use Ableton, but I used other DAWs before. Basically, short, sweet, to the point. GarageBand, when they made GarageBand, I'll never forget. I'm gonna sound such like an old head when I say this. When GarageBand first came out, I was in middle school. Okay, I was in middle school, and my middle school had just afforded new Macintosh computers for the school. And I remember, hilariously enough, the only reason why I got into video production in middle school was simply because I just wanted to make beats on a Macintosh, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And so in middle school, I used to just sit in the back room where they had all of the camera gear, all the green screen energy going on, and there was just this computer that was just sitting in the corner, and it was just sitting there, bro. It was just sitting there. And I remember I would just be on that computer for hours, just playing around with sounds, playing around with the different plugins. But then I started to realize something about GarageBand when I got back home. And what happened was my dad, I think I asked my dad around the same time, I want Ableton Live. This was Live 8 at the time. So Ableton Live was on version 8. I had used the Live Intro 7 at one point. And so I was, just using GarageBand, in middle school, but then my dad gave me Ableton Live Intro with a MPD controller. Now, at the time, I think I was able to plug in the USB controller and everything. Now, I'll tell you where the transition started. I think when I was getting more into Sony Acid Music Studio, I realized Sony Acid Music Studio, which is a whole nother DAW for Windows, Sony Acid Music Studio was the learning program to use the updated version of the program, which was Acid Music Pro or Acid Pro. Sony had their own DAW years ago. They sold it off to Magix. Whole nother story. Long story short, I realized that was what GarageBand was to Logic. I started figuring out, like, how can I take my music and not only just bounce it out and listen to it, but I realized this learning edition had some curves. They weren't allowing me to do really, and I mean really, simple things. Like, and I mean really simple things. Something as simple as bouncing out stems in GarageBand. At that time, I was making some of the coolest, weirdest experimental stuff. And would you believe I could not bounce out a stem? Couldn't bounce out the individual layer of all of the points in the track that I'm using. Couldn't bounce it out. And then I started realizing, like, okay, can I do the same thing in intro? Sorta. And so I remember the day when Logic was installed on the computer at the school. And they were like, would you like to open this project into Logic? And I was like, yeah, sure. Bruh. I saw some stuff in there that made me never want to go back to GarageBand because I realized how much more extensive it was. And this led to me getting into music production full time because I never realized GarageBand is just the learning curve or the learning edition to allow you to know the basics. Just the basics. And if you got GarageBand joints and you want to open up in Logic, I would highly recommend you at least try Logic out as a test to see if it's something that works for you. Now, where Logic switched over to Ableton for me was when I started doing shows. I'll never forget, I did not produce anything on Ableton for like the first 4 years, 2015, 2014, 2013, 2012, 2011, 2010. I had Ableton and I never made a beat on there. Why at the time? It was just confusing and I didn't really get it. Until college came and a buddy of mine was like, hey, I love you, bro, but you can't use GarageBand anymore. And we're going to need those stems as much as possible. And so one thing I really needed to have transitioning to a new DAW was the ability to warp audio in real time. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean, warping audio in real time? Well, I'm sure if you guys have watched me, make a beat, there's this audio click, right? And I'm gonna show you a good example of what audio warping looks like. Check this out. So in Ableton, this is what sold it for me. This is what sold it for Ableton for me. Check this out. There's this little function over here called warp. And I never knew what in the world this was until I clicked it one day and just was like, okay, I just clicked on it. What happens? And this was the most gnarliest thing I ever did. This is the most gnarliest thing. This is what sold it for me. Watch this. I just simply went like this. You can literally do this in real time. The fact that this is so quick, I was doing shows purely in this mode. Purely and just in this mode. And I never knew you could warp until I casually opened it up one day as much as I had been using intro, I did not know you could do that. And I didn't know there was different warping modes. This easily sold me into being like, I need to utilize the full version of Ableton. I need to get it. And I've been using Ableton Live for the last 10 years. Simply because that function exists. It's a little bit whacked out. Okay? And ever since then, knowing you can do that in real time was literally the reason why I've never went back to Logic. Don't get me wrong, Logic has some great sounds. They got a lot of great modes. They have a lot of great usages for that. But in my understanding of playing live shows and sound design in a very quick way, Ableton is way more powerful than anything else I've ever used DAW-wise. So if you want my advice, upgrade. Everything is a gradual step. Everything is. Especially going from GarageBand to Logic. I hope that helps you, bro. I hope that helps you, dude. The fact that there are, oh my gosh. The fact that there are rappers called Logic and Reason is wild. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, I only use Ableton purely on the fact that I can play shows with it and design. Plus, I mean, I gotta hand it to Logic. They got way better sounds in it at times. But I think that's why I decided to sit on Ableton and be like, yo, memo piano, electric key, essential bass, something that simple. Yeah. Crash X Please says I skipped Logic and went to Ableton from GarageBand Mobile. This guy just got a used Elgato HD 60X for under $100. If I can pick it up tomorrow, I'll be live 1st January 2020. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Tommy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. So yeah, the workflow on Ableton was better for me than Logic. I love Logic, but like, I think what I got really comfortable with, which is why I ended up making my Ableton like it. My Ableton setup is like a hybrid of Logic and Sony Acid. So it's just the stuff that I always loved growing up with, which was warping audio, real time doing stuff. I loved being able to just take a sample off of YouTube at the time and just loop it. You know, after Rhythm Roulette, I think Timbo needs some Ableton tips from me. Jesus, bro. I appreciate you. Logic feels really great for live instrumentation and classical composition. It is intended for that purpose. Literally, Logic is intended for live instrumentation and classical composition. I learned how to mix purely on Logic way back in the day. Got from FL to Ableton because most producers I watch using, not gonna lie. Now, the beautiful part about DAWs, and I think this is the most unique thing, and this is the last thing I'll say. I'll say that no matter what DAW you use, essentially you can do pretty much the same thing in any DAW. It's just a matter of how you do it. There's many methods to the madness. Matter of fact, the craziest thing I've ever seen was there's this producer, and I'm remembering his name. His name was Languid. Shout out to Languid for the one time. I remember he was a producer early 2010s, 2011, 2012. He would post videos of him playing beat sets, playing all of his beats off of the FL sampler. And all he had was a Axiom keyboard that had all of the individual chops for his beats. And he would just play it according to how he felt. But I remember asking him, I was like, yo, like, how do you do it? He's playing the beats off of the sampler on FL Studio. I'm like, yo, you can play sets from your DAW as long as you understand how it works. Because essentially, all of these DAWs do the same thing. They do exactly the same thing. It's always a workaround. And the things that are always the workaround are usually the most innovative and create new styles, new genres. Like, yeah, just know all the music that we hear right now, this is probably the best time to be a creative because there's so many different ways you can make the same track or different ones. Different ways, same results. Yeah, I rest my case. So with that being said, y'all, hold on. Let's see here. No one knows which DAW do you use when the track is out there also. Ain't nobody gonna know. Folks gonna think it's a live band. Ooh, I love the drummer. The drummer's you know, they not gonna think about what DAW you using. Like, if it works, pimp. Play your sets on your BandLab or play your sets off your iPhone. Cause there is gonna be some kid that's gonna figure it out. I know I definitely was one of those kids that figured out how to like keep everything in the box. Yeah, man. Yes, the popular DAWs can pretty much do the same thing, just in different ways. Solomon just said, just bought your kit. Can you live demo making swing or groove with it? Oh, with pleasure. Let's make something real quick. I made something real cool today. The beat video I just posted today actually has one of my Build a Pocket loops in it called Readiness Comes in Time. I'm gonna show y'all the Instagram video, but I'll make one right here. Are you answering any more questions on the gauntlet? I will answer whatever you drop in the chat. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely do a little cook up with Volume X, the Pocket, because not a lot of people understand like how deep this thing can go. This thing is pretty deep. So this is the track. Pretty much all of my drums that you guys hear, it is the Pocket. So if y'all see this little X pop up, this is all Pocket. Yep, that's the one. I'm still wearing the same fit from this morning when I did this video. Vance Swango says, if you do the gauntlet and you keep getting stuck on the beats made during the gauntlet sessions, what do you do? Honestly, 15 minutes max. If there is a point where you can't come up with anything else, literally cut the beat off and move on to the next one. Get your brain to jog a little bit. Get your brain to maneuver. Genuinely. Like, literally, get your brain. If you can't get it stimulated anymore off of the current idea, do not beat yourself up the head and continue on with it. I've made beats in 15 minutes, didn't hear anything, and just was like, all right, next one. Do you overthink your beats in your sessions? No, I very rarely do I do that anymore. And I'll tell you why. The gauntlet, and especially here on the stream, literally don't force the funk. Don't force it. You know, I very seldom overthink ideas. What I'll do is I'll periodically go back and mess with an idea for about 15, 20 minutes max. If nothing sticks as I'm working on it, then I'll usually just turn it off, walk away, make another one, or just don't make anything else. Like I don't revisit it. I don't go back to it for a little bit of time. I'll make more ideas, more things, and maybe the newer ideas or the older ideas I made will allow me to open up my brain a little bit. But I never overthink anything anymore. I just realize I have a choice and I make a decision. That's all creativity is. You got options, make a choice, because there's no such thing as the wrong choice. How do you know when it's done? It's your call. Like, it's done when you feel like what you said is it. Like, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'll just make a beat. Matter of fact, I'll show you something crazy. I'll show you something super, super nuts. So let's put the gauntlet in action as you guys see me make stuff. So I'm just going to randomly go to the Discord, the Makers Club, and pick up a sample. And what's great about these samples is the fact that they're all really, really good. Like, all of these samples are really, really, really good. So this is the Makers Club. They all have samples in here. There's always something to mess with. I'm going to just scroll. I see Beats by G&D. Current has something. Jazz. Focus always dropping something, you know. I just literally, the only way to stop overthinking is simply to make a decision, especially when it comes to making music. Just make a decision, because there's no such thing as a wrong decision. It's just different choices. Different choices lead to different avenues. But just know, every decision you can make, you can always change it as time goes on. You don't have to stick with the same thing over and over again, but just make a decision, and that's it. That's the one. Don't think too much. That's the whole point. That's why I got y'all doing the gauntlet. So I'm going to just... Okay. I kind of like this energy. This is where I'm at right now. Matter of fact, the only way to be able to solve overthinking is to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to simply be like, what if this works? And you have to tell yourself that. What if this works? Like, I can hear a whole trap beat thing like this. But that's not what I want to mess with. So I'm going to go to the next one. Say less. That's dope. That's dope to me. And I'm going to just download it. I'm going to open it up. We just going to go here. I hear two things already. I'm not even thinking too much about it. Let's just go ahead and load it up. Turn it off. So this is simply just, it's just groovy. Hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
So I'm not even thinking too much about it. I already hear a whole drum beat. Let me get that piano. Get rid of this space. Just don't think about it. Just, what are you feeling? I'm gonna just loop this part right here. And this is using the new Pocket Pack. So the whole point of this whole pack is intended to not think about it. You already have all the patterns there. Just start tweaking things and make decisions. Make decisions and just start building off of that. That's what I would suggest. So I'm just going to go ahead and I do hear hi-hats. So let's go to Build a Pocket real quick. I'm going to use a combination of some things. Wait a second. I'm gonna just loop this part right here. Just don't even think about it anymore. hear a little open hi-hat, let's go ahead and section in on this idea. I want a little open hi-hat, just right here, and I'm gonna show you something cool. If you go to your keyboard, here you go. So this is it. Shift, Option. If you hold Shift and Option, you will see this little Mickey Mouse hand pop up. The reason that is because it'll allow you to be able to scan in the loop, scan around the little section of the loop you got. So without having to open up this part, you could just simply just start scanning through a loop. And I just want the open hi-hat. That's literally the only thing I heard. I might tweak that last part right here to vary it a little bit. Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me hit it a little. That's it. I actually like that pattern. So this is the pattern right here. Yep. That's tough. Yeah. And that's not even thinking too much about it. I want to make it a little simpler though. Let me tell you, take this out. Let's mute this real quick. Let me go ahead and do one more thing. I'm gonna hit the kick. I got one little layer on top of this that'll work like crazy. Ooh, that's tough. Yeah. I'm gonna lower this. Woo! Wait a second. I realized something. My mouse went to like the other computer. I was like, ooh, wait a second. Hold on a second. Let me go and force quit something on this computer. So I could force quit this. Force quit Chrome. Force quit QuickTime. Yeah. So yeah, it comes through motion. But this is all Pocket. This is all Pocketbook. Pocket. I used to actually call this thing Pocketbook before I changed book. I just made it Pocket. I'm gonna just hit another build a pocket real quick. I kind of want to hit a tom. I'm hearing a tom. I hear like a little. Oh. Turn this over right here. And we simply just gonna move certain things over. Ooh. Mind you, I haven't added any processing onto this. Did you add your vinyl fills at the right time? I kind of offbeat them. I offbeat a lot of things. Woo! Ooh! Wait. I'm actually gonna do this right here. Take away the snare. Do you have any workflow underrated or overlooked tip for Ableton? Ableton is relatively quick, so what I would recommend is like moving audio clip the way you did. Well, that's definitely one. Another one is Option Command will allow you to be able to maneuver over the whole session. So if you need to maneuver and scoot over just a little bit, you could just do this for the entire session if you want. So hold Option Command and just click and drag the session. That way you don't have to like go here and be like, I gotta move it all the way over here. No. Hold Option Command and just look over the whole session like this. It's so convenient. I'll move this over. I'm gonna do something so silly. Detune this a little bit. My go-to bass is the Essential Bass Rack. That's the only thing I use, except for the KES one that I'm currently developing at the moment. I use a lot of like Essential Bass Rack and just put a lot of distortion on it. Who is calling me right now? Who is calling me? I cannot pick up. Now I'm gonna just group this together real quick. I'm gonna hit a group, hit knock plugin, favorites, knock, boom. And that way I don't even think too deep about like the pocket. It's just, it exists. I could always go back and tweak it later. Always go back and tweak it later. Let me actually move this real quick. Take away the kick. I'm thinking instinctively. I'm not even thinking right now. I'm just... the bass real quick. To play chords on this, but I don't have to do anything. But just know, there's no wrong decision, except for not making one. Choice and make the decision. Even if it turns out good or bad, make the decision. Make the decision. I'm gonna have one with a filter. I'm gonna have one with a filter, and then I'm gonna have one without. So hold on a sec. Make sure I delete some stuff over here. I'm running things. Let's go and duplicate this real quick. One with, one without. And that way you could just literally make a whole idea and not think too much about it. Because I think the problem is your brain can become the best and worst place. Because in here lies all of your chip memory. Think about it from this perspective, y'all. I'm gonna tell you something crazy. Let me go back to regular. So, what's crazy about it is this. When you have ideas and when you have concepts and maybe you're inspired to make something, the biggest issue that I always see when someone's like, I don't have any ideas. You didn't have any? Well, I had one, but it just didn't feel good to me. Well, do you trust it? So number one, you have to trust your natural God-given instinct. This is coming from somebody that cannot explain anything musically that I just played. Everything that I learned from playing chords and patterns have been this thing where I feel, and I learned that these chords that I watched off of a YouTube video from 2008 of a gospel musician playing this chord, this thing sounds nuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn this chord on a piano. So every time I hit the piano, that chord is going to sound like the chord I learned on YouTube. And so what you're hearing is something that I trust. I trust this idea so much because I know what it feels like. And that trust, that knowledge, that chip memory, that thing you got in your brain that tells you when to move or maneuver, that thing can be developed. Think about it from this perspective, right? When you were put on this planet and when you were a baby, you had nothing in your noggin. Just simply goo goo gaga, gaga and goo goo. That was it. And then someone taught you your first word. That word was hi, mom, dad, mom. Like, those little things are what created your ability to communicate. And just so crazy enough, if you wanted right now to go and type a word into the chat right now and it pop up on the chat, that was something that you learned and trusted enough to say it. Music is literally that. If you want to be able to not overthink, trust your God-given ability. Because if you didn't know it, and now you're aware, you can learn that this is simply a pattern. I'm just trying to tell y'all, that's how it works. That's how it works for me, and I think if we allow our mind to be the best place ever, this thing can run when we choose it to. I have information in here that I'm not even accessing right now just simply because I don't choose to. I choose not to access that thing. Maybe it might come up, but I can tell this thing, no. I'm gonna make a beat, and I'm gonna feel it. And I'm gonna get to the chords. And now look, we can add the drums back in. Not even thinking about it. All the elements are there. You can drop out the drums. And that's just me instinctively thinking, what if I just take things out, put things in? Take things out, put things in. That's it. Now, what if I throw the bass line? What if I start off the whole track like this? Duplicate this. I'm actually so curious to see if I start off the whole beat like this, bro. This. I kind of want to take this right here and play with the lead a little bit. Because this lead, bro, this lead is crazy. Hold on. Because there's something cool here. I could use that. So he has the lead in here. I could utilize this. I'm not thinking too much about it. And I could also do this too. I like that it just played, but the fact is it feels a little bit slow. It feels a little bit slow simply because the melody played and I could just go right into the track that has all the motion. So this is a little ear candy thing for you guys. Take the most smallest, minuscule thing you could think of within your own track and just throw a little reverb on it. Now you got an intro. At some point, you're going to hear that thing again. And it's going to reintroduce itself in like a hookish way or who knows. But that's not thinking about it. It's just instinctively it felt too long and that's what I wanted to do. But trust your God-given ability. It's there for a reason. Instinctively, if someone told you to move out of the way if a car was coming right at you, wouldn't you just naturally just slide to the right till the car doesn't hit you? That's instincts. And you don't have to be hit by a car to know that's going to hurt you if it hits you. You just instinctively move on over. Because nothing's pretty about seeing that giant piece of metal coming towards you. It's not. I digress, though. Yeah. Now I'm gonna delete this. Drop it out. Drop out the drums. I'm gonna just put this right here. With all this right here. Put this over here. Put this over here. Yeah. Put this piano on. I'm gonna open up the waviness a little bit. Woo! I'm gonna open up some of this real quick. Yep. I love this. Ooh, a little later. Yeah. One, two, I'm gonna lay down with another one. Whoa. 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 That is really cool. Now here's something crazy, right? all of these things that I'm humming right now all come from a bunch of other ideas, right? And so I sometimes like to utilize the same pieces to build something quite bigger than it did the last time. So think about how many times we sit and listen to a track and be like, well, I got to make some from scratch again. Not necessarily. Because whenever I sit here, I am constantly reusing the same chords differently. Just approaching it differently. Just differently. That's the whole point. Approach it differently. Even when I have melodies, I've probably mumbled the same melody like thousands of times. But then I realize if I can understand my own melodies, I could probably learn other melodies. I can learn other things that allow me to try stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and add this thing back in here too. Axie's beat says, when are track reviews? Do you still do them? Every once in a while I will. But yeah, I was doing a little explanation for this one. I'm just excited. Man, let me do that actually. Let me record that. 1, 2. Actually, I got one better for you. You ready for this? You ready for this? Percussion. Let me go to drums, percussion kit. Let me go to core kit. And this is it. This is literally the last thing I'm gonna do, and then that'll be it for this first beat. Triangle. I'm gonna show y'all something silly. So you said triangle. Watch this. I'm gonna do something so silly. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna just duplicate that twice. And that just works. It just works. It just works. 3, yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I'm gonna throw a little more reverb on top of this. gonna save this as, what should I call this one? This one features the one and only Beats by G&D. Shout out to G&D for the one time. Let me go to December 30th. We are on beat 516 for the year. I think we might be finishing on like 520. Because tomorrow, we're going to be going live tomorrow for New Year's. Yeah, 517. No, 516. New Year bounce with G&D. Yeah, 98. Boom. Let's make a new one. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions y'all got? Any other curiosities you're curious about? Because listen, we gonna answer some questions today. Okay, we're gonna answer some questions. I'm trying to help y'all. I want to help y'all so much. I love y'all. Also, real quick, I haven't even grabbed my snacks. If you haven't got yourself a snack, get yourself a snack. I'll be right back. Let me grab myself a snack. Grab a snack real quick. Give me 1 second.
Welcome to the Producer Show with Kaylin Ellis. Did you know he goes live at 5? He goes live at 5 everywhere. It features a Discord he has too. You know, where he samples and collaborates live in real time using sounds from his community. They are literally the best in the world. So if you want to join in, cop a sample pack, you know, don't force the funk. Baby, the force the funk. How is funk? Yeah, we the funk. Don't force the funk.
All right. Let's see here. Ghost Not Music says quick run through on your drum kit will be dope. Which one? The live kit? The actual live kit I have? Ghost Not. Current Music says, Kaylin, has your dad ever released music? Not that I know of. I don't think my dad has, actually. I did get him on a song. Dope to see you next stream. Appreciate you. I love the fact that y'all on different platforms watch me. Where are you currently right now in the world, if you'd mind me asking? All right. Live kit. I don't never talk about this thing, but I'll talk about it. I guess I'll talk about it. So currently, at this moment, this drum kit, I never talk about it. What are those snacks? Oh, this is just honey, bare naked fruit nut medley granola. This is not a sponsorship, but this is great. It's just great. All right, so a little breakdown of the kit. I'll show you. So this kit here has been with me since the pandemic. The reason why it has been is simply because right around 2019, 2020, I ended up moving back in with my parents. And within that, they allowed me to stay in my bedroom growing up. So as you can see, this is the room that I basically started everything music-wise. The last like 20-something years has been spent in this room, pretty much. So this kit is a combination of a bunch of different drum pieces. So this is not your typical drum kit. I'm gonna show you guys something crazy. All right, I'm gonna show you something crazy. So let me see here. Let's see if it. I wonder if it can zoom in with me. Upper body. Will it does? Will it do upper body? No, it don't. Let me see if this one does. Close up. Okay. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so if you're curious to know about this kit, I'm gonna give you a little rundown. So this kit here is a combination of a bunch of different drums that during the pandemic I started to kind of makeshift. The reason is because I had an entirely different drum kit growing up. It was a starter first act kit. Now, y'all know the cheap $100 drum kits that First Act sells. It's like 150 something bucks. They sell like a crash cymbal, some hi-hats, toms. It's a really small children's side drum kit. It's as small as like a Ludwig Questlove pocket kit, which is also like kind of a reference of it. But this kit here is a makeshift kit. And what I mean by makeshift is I'm utilizing a Pearl Traveler kit. What is a Pearl Traveler kit? If you're curious to know, the Pearl Traveler kit is a travel-sized drum set that doesn't have any shells. I've talked about this before, but probably gonna make a whole cut-up part for this for YouTube. That tom was a snare at one point. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but that used to be a snare. It has the snare wires on the bottom of it. I just unscrewed it, and what you have here is a tom-ish snare. It could become a snare, you just gotta tighten in the screws on the bottom of it. But essentially you have that, and I have two snares. One that I bought from Guitar Center, shout out to Guitar Center, and one that was gifted to me back in 2018. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? This is a very unorthodox kit because of the fact that it's taking different parts of a drum set that I used to have, and I essentially made one out of scratch. Now here's the beautiful part. As time goes on, I started upgrading the pieces. So the hi-hat stands, the stands here you see, it looks unorthodox because it's literally like 5 other pieces of a drum kits put together. So the stands were all $100 from Amazon. The clip-on for the tom, that was the Amazon purchase. This snare right here used to have the wires, the cables on the bottom of it, but then I was like, I want to use it like a tom. So I removed the wires off of the snare, and I put a fat snare head on it. And so I'll show you what I mean. This thing allows that drum to sound like a fat tom. Yes. And I simply have just dedicated myself for the last couple of years to just make it sound as good as I possibly can. And even the microphones is nothing too crazy. I'm using 1, 2, 3 SM57s, and I got a regular Sennheiser on the kick. Yeah, this kit is literally a one of one. I just made one out of the pieces that I had. And so when you hear Build a Pocket, the Pocketbook, the Sauce Pack, it's just from a makeshift drum set. And I just learned how to EQ it. So yeah, there's nothing really insane going on. It's just all the different individual pieces of drum kits that I collected over time. It became the kit. And then shout out to Zildjian and shout out to Evans. Evans and Zildjian are those who have incorporated their drum heads and cymbals to my drum set. Even the sticks are Pro Mark, aka Evans, and the cymbals are from Zildjian. Shout out to Zildjian for sending the cymbals. It's literally probably the best drum kit I've ever played aside from the one I grew up on. So that's my drum kit. Hope that makes sense. Isaiah got ghosts. I'm shopping for new headphones. What headphones are you wearing? These headphones are the IIIs. And if you don't know what III is, I'm going to show you real quick. III is a Danish audio design company dedicated to developing premium audio gear. And what's great about them, and shout out to III, literally, I've been using IIIs for the last 3 years, and they're great. Like, they're great. And yeah, man, I got the studio wireless ones. So not the DJ ones, just the studio wireless. You can basically put together these headphones. So let's say if you want to change out the individual components of your headphones, that's what this is. That's what I'm using. I might honestly ask him about the tracks because I need some new tracks. These are so beautiful. These are tough. $60 USB-C mini jack. Wow. These are tough. Sorry. Yeah, they're great. Travis Scott. Yeah, man, they're great. So shout out to II for the one time. Let's see what else I'm missing. Watching from Connecticut, DC. Shout out to From Pano. Okay, Tommy says, what are your favorite percussion instruments? What would be a great starter kit to record your own percussions? Okay, I'm gonna give you the number one starter for anybody that wants to learn how to record their own percussions. Okay, so what you're gonna need is a solid, and I mean a solid, it could be a decent one, but a solid condenser microphone. It could be literally anything, and I mean anything. Get yourself a solid condenser mic, and I'll tell you exactly why. Condenser mics, for me, that is, and every time I've like utilized a condenser kit, a condenser mic, I always recognize that microphones like that are way more sensitive than a dynamic mic. Of course, dynamics are recording from the SM57. The SM57 is a dynamic microphone, but the reason why I say condenser is simply because if you want to be able to record things from like ground level, being cranked a little bit, I love dynamics. Like, I love playing with like the little noise floor of a microphone simply because I like texture. I love texture. I love getting like that manual sound in my recordings. I like to play with it. I like to lean heavy into it. So any kind of nice condenser mic will get you through it. They sell them for very cheap on Amazon. Just put in condenser microphone, get a little interface, record it. Boom. Now for the percussion side, what you're gonna need simply, and I would simply start with what you got in your closet, okay? The reason why I say what you got in your closet, in your kitchen, you got spoons, cool. You got cup, cool. You got knives, you got cups. Throw nails inside of a cup, okay, cool. If you wanna buy a percussion instrument, if you wanna be able to go there, tambourines, get yourself a tiny tambourine, a little simple one, a little basic one. They make really small ones on Amazon, very cheap. Get yourself a shaker, too. Okay, so tambourine, a shaker, and watch this, a cowbell. And I'll tell you exactly why. All three of those individual sounds will give you, alongside recording on a condenser mic, a pretty vast amount of sounds to just hit, strike, record. Nothing's more beautiful than just having a tambourine that you need to be able to shake just to be able to get a good metallic movement out of your track. I love having a shaker nearby. I think I got one sitting under here. Oh, get you some clavs. This is one that I kind of have on my person. It's one of my favorite. This is why I say get a condenser mic. Get a little condenser. This is one of those. I don't want to mess the name up. I know I'm about to mess the name up. What I'm about to mess the name up on this so bad. But yes, I have these. Those simple elements will allow you to be able to record whatever you need regarding motion and movement. Highly advise you guys to check that out. Castafuel. I thought it says that. I thought it was an F. Hold on. I don't know how to. Yeah, that is basically that what Joe Tita just said. Yes. Hello, baby's like, bruh, you just. The N is hard. Yeah, that is. I'm about to mess that up. But yeah, and if you ever get curious, what I would simply do is I would just look up on Google, go straight to Google, and type in percussion pack. And they sell really small ones. This is what I got. Meinl has a one-hand percussion perk pack. It has a tambourine, a shaker, and hardwood clavs. This got me through the pandemic. $34. This got me through the pandemic. When me and Count were making those videos, this is what I went to the music store and bought for $34. It was great. It was great. It was super great. I wanted to create my own sounds for a long time, but didn't know how to. Trust me, get yourself a nice mic, and just record it to the beat. And as you record it, collect all those loops. And before you know it, you will have a sound pack. Take all those gauntlet beats you just recorded and put this on top of it. And I'm pretty sure you'll get something cool. Yeah. My question would be a little silly. At what volume should I monitor myself? Like, at which volume should I set up my interface? I feel like I have a massive difference in between beats regarding how loud they sound. I think that's all part of your... For me, personally, I like to make my beats really low. Like, I lower my beats. All of my beats start really low, and I just crank it as I go. Even if it's like somewhere mid-loud, my headphones start very low. So relatively, I try to listen to things very quietly. And as I'm making something, I'm pretty sure you guys see me like my hand going over here to the desk. The reason that is because I have my my interface headphone jack. I could just simply turn everything up. But I go halfway. On my monitoring interface. That way I don't have to I'm not blasting everything. It's just everything is midway. I start midway and I work my way up. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So without further ado, let's make another one. I'm kind of in the zone right now. I'm not gonna cap. Discord. And I'll probably make a sample. For next week. Speaking of, why don't I make a sample? Why don't I make a sample? Hold on. Using dog being able to hear what you're doing live in OBS. I've been struggling to get things to work. I just talked about that. I just talked about it. Simply, I'm hearing everything off of my interface. So even though there's audio being sent to my computer, I literally have my headphones simply just listening to the interface at all times. Like, it's not like all of the audio is going straight to the laptop. I'm hearing a portion of it come from my headphone jack. And from that headphone jack, I should be able to hear everything that this interface plays. If not, I would highly suggest get that. But speaking of, I might as well make a sample, y'all. What are we feeling for a sample? I started learning some brand new codes. I started learning some brand new codes recently with using yeah, and so let's make a little sample. What would y'all be curious to? Judas said, I'm feeling energy. You can aim for 16 lefts on your mix compared to songs, Apple Music. You need to lower their volume because they will be louder after mastering. Yeah. Just to want to make a custom sample and actually be able to make it. So, Vance, this is one of the reasons why I say making gauntlet tracks will allow you to have tools that at a moment's notice you could just make something. And I feel like, man, I'm just dropping mad codes tonight, but I recently figured out a crazy secret with utilizing audio and how to like properly get a sound that you want out of it. Mix as I go. That's why I made the KFX. High energy. All right. All right. I might have something. Let's see if I can build around a loop. Give me a BPM, y'all. I'm about to make something. We finna make something right now. The fact that you're whispering the name is mad fun. I have to. Because if not, the people gonna get mad at me. They're gonna get real mad at me. And they're gonna be like, what's going on? Okay, like, bro. Hold on 1 second. My camera's getting a little fuzzy on me real quick. Let me go ahead and cancel out some things. Let me cancel out some stuff. Yeah, I gotta cancel out some things. Quit UA Connect. All right, one more thing. Let me go and play this real quick. I'm gonna do something with my screen because my screen is acting really weird. Display. Mirror extend. Don't link it to that. Want it to be disconnected. They don't want the knowledge out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, something's going on. Let me do one more thing. I'm not gonna say it out loud because there's so many people that are just not happy with it. Here we go. I had to turn my display all the way down so I could be able to get this. I wonder what's making my joint so skippy. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna do one more thing too. Let me cancel something. Canceling out all of my like password programs. Quit. Yeah, my joint's I don't know why.